G'day everyone, Gareth here from Organic Growing Melbourne. I'm going to do a garden tour today. It's going to be quite lengthy. I may need to do 2 videos actually, but I'll see how I go. But I thought I'd start at the dragon fruit. So this year, or I should say this winter, the dragon fruit suffered big time from rust. So I've ended up having to pretty much cut the rust out. I tried treating it, but unfortunately it just didn't work. I've lost a lot of dragon fruit off this particular plant this season. So I've cut all the bad rust off. Some of these end ones here I've had to cut right back as well. Generally the rust will clear up once the weather gets warmer, but it had pretty much affected a whole piece of it, and it was all drooping and rotting, so it had to come out. But we'll see how this goes now the weather's starting to warm up. So we're in spring. Spring has started, and everything's starting to come alive. This is a really exciting part of the year when everything starts waking up and starts growing. I have not had fruit off this dragon fruit yet. Cross fingers this year, but we'll see how we go. These are one of the first things that actually start growing. My water lilies. I've had them for several years now, and the leaves will come out first, and then you start. I don't know whether you can see that under the water there. You can see these 2 here. They're the first flowers coming up for the year, and then through the whole spring, summer, these leaves will come up. They start to get bigger, and then more and more flowers come up, and it spreads around the pond. And the lilies are amazing. I love water lilies. They just completely change the pond here. There's about 6 fish in here. Plan was to use the dirt from the bottom of the pond, or the gunk, to put in with some plants, but I've never done it. I don't think I need to. Alright, let's start with this array of tropical and subtropical plants. So I did a video about the avocado. I did a video, avocado update. I'll leave a link up the top here on all the seedlings and how my avocados are going. So we won't really talk about these. What we will do though is start at the black sapote. This is surprising. This is doing actually really well. All these flowers, as you can see here, are all from last season, and they've just stopped. And I'm hoping when the weather warms up, these will start growing again. But it's produced fruit. There's a small one here. Here's a bigger one just here, right there. And they sort of stop growing as well. There's another one here, and then there's a bigger one. I can never find this one. It always hides. It's just in here. So this is the bigger one here. That's the biggest one. About not quite the size of a golf ball yet. So I'm hoping these will start growing again. But the flowers it produced were amazing. They're just everywhere. Everywhere. Just every branch you pull up, at all different stages, from just starting to fruit to, there's one starting to fruit there, to there was some here that have just started flowering, as you can see. That's one just starting to flower. Can't really see it. It's in there. So you're pretty happy with that. And then at the bottom here, we've got underneath the black sapote, we've got the Grammy Chama. This hasn't really done much since I've actually bought it, although I'm noticing we've got a bit of growth coming out the tips here. So hopefully we'll get a bit of growth out of this year. This is it's like a like a tropical cherry, tropical equivalent to a cherry. This one, that's going to be an interesting one. That one. This grows. It doesn't grow that big. It's only about a 2 to 4 meter plant. So I'm looking forward to this one. And then we've got the white Chartreuse mulberry. And already, if you look just here, that's 3 mulberry just there, tiny at the moment. They can get to about 10 centimeters long, but they sort of come out with the leaves. They just pop out. So they're just everywhere. There's a few there. So what will happen here? These will ripen up. See, there's some more here. So these will all ripen up. I'll harvest, and then I'll prune again. We get more growth and more mulberries. Once this is matured up a bit, see here, there's more in here, more in there. Once this matures up, I'm hoping to get 3 crops a year off this. Cross fingers. And then down here we've got the lychee, which, as you can see, I think is dead. Like, these are just, you can see they're just, everything is just breaks up. But what I'm hoping is, I'm hoping to get some more growth, maybe from the root system. I don't know. This one unfortunately was delivered to me when we got 40+ degree days. I think it was 3 or 4 days of over 40, I think. And this one did not like it at all. In fact, when I got it, every leaf was already brown, which is funny because this is a lychee, and this was delivered at the same time. It came with that one, but this one didn't mind the heat, and I am now getting tiny bits of growth coming from the branches, as you can see. So I'm happy about this one. At least one survived. You can see another one coming out there. So we'll get a bit of growth out of it this year. These are my 2 other varieties of black sapote. I don't think I'm really getting any growth off them yet. But these are a grafted variety. This one here, and this is the colossal. This apparently grows an enormous black sapote on it. And these have all been outside, no protection apart from under the pergola here, just for a little bit of frost protection. And I'm really happy with the way they've stood up to the cold. Even the big one's done really well. I can see a branch just over here has just died off, but I'll prune that up. All right, and then I got some mango seedlings down here that I propagated last year, and these mangoes here are from for a few years now. I did a video just the other day on my mangoes as well. I'll leave another link up the top here as well for you if you're interested in watching that one. So mangoes, growing mangoes in Melbourne, and I've pruned all the tips of them. This is the carambola, and I'm getting a little bit of growth out of this at the moment. Not much, quite slow at the moment. This is the carry variety, star fruit. I'm probably not going to see fruit off this for quite some time, but it's a beautiful looking tree. And then we've got the dwarf red Chartreuse mulberry. Here's the label there, and as you can see, there's fruit everywhere on this one. Look at that. If you haven't tasted mulberry, you're missing out. I had these last year, the red and white, and oh, they're just a beautiful flavour. Really sweet. I've tasted the English varieties, I think it's the Hicks, can't remember, which are just the stubby little mulberries, which I liked. And then I tried the Chatut mulberry, and oh my god, best ones I've tasted. There's a few varieties out there, but at the moment the Chatut is by far the best tasting mulberry I've tasted. And again, this will be pruned up. This is a dwarf, so this only gets to what's it say here, 3 to 5 metres. You could keep it easily to 3 metres. And then we've got this one here, which I've had inside, is the Brazilian cherry. Another tropical, and this has done amazing. I mean, look at the condition of this plant. Now, I've had this one inside. This has only been out now for 3 or 4 days, but it's just doing so well. This is a seedling, and I've not only that, but that is new growth just here. It did nothing for ages, and all of a sudden we've started getting some new growth. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna start getting some new growth off these tips. Looking forward to that one. This one here is my Davidson's plum. I've had this for years. It's so this is a plum. This will grow the fruit on the trunk of the tree. It's a sour plum. It's not really good for eating fresh off the tree, but I'm hoping if and when it fruits to make some sort of jam out of this. And it's a very tall tree. It's quite a skinny type tree, but can get quite tall, and it just keeps on shooting out the top. But it's an amazing looking tree. I mean, it looks awesome. Looks very tropical. I might try and get that in the ground. We'll see how we go with that one. The avocado. This is the bacon variety, and as you can see, covered in a huge amount of flowers for a tiny little tree. So that's the bacon. That's a B-type variety, and then we've got the Pinkerton here, which is the A-type, and this one is flowering as well. Nowhere near as aggressive as this one, but it's flowering. For a tiny little tree, that's pretty good. Alright, and over here, I'll open this up and I'll show you what I've got in here. Some of these trees have amazed me as well. This is a tiny little greenhouse which I got from Bunnings. Don't buy one because they are shocking. They start ripping as soon as it gets weathered. They're ridiculous. Right, so in here, this is crazy. So this is a miracle fruit, this one. That's the miracle fruit. And this has not budged since I bought this last year. But I'm seeing a little bit of new growth coming out of these tips now. I'll prune some of these dead bits off. Very slow growing, very slow. The miracle berry, miracle fruit. So if you eat this, if you eat a couple of these berries, you'd literally be able to eat a lemon, including skin, like an apple, because the miracle berry makes everything sweet or sweeter. And then in here, which I won't take out, I'll just show you, I've got 2 soursop, 2 different varieties of soursop. There's one, and there's the other one there, and not much growth. As you can see, there's not much new growth. But what I am really amazed about is the Relinia. Have a look at how good it looks, and the new growth as well. Just so much new growth over winter. Look at that, look at these leaves, they look beautiful. All this new delicate leaves here. Oh wow, it's just doing really, really well. That's really surprised me. The Relinia is extremely frost sensitive, and it's going to lose some of its leaves here. I do have a little bar heater down here. It only keeps it about 3 degrees warmer than the outside temperature. So when we get those frosts, we get it just gives it that little bit more warmth. and I think that's why the Rolinia's done so well. Sour sops, no new growth at the moment, but these are going to come out of this greenhouse probably in about 2 or 3 weeks, and they'll start getting conditioned, and we'll see how they go through next winter. I might leave that open just to air out a bit. Okay, what I have missed is over here is this is the Jaboticaba. This is the giant Jaboticaba. The tree's not giant, it's the fruit. The fruit on it apparently is supposed to be, or can get to like golf ball size. And I've had this inside when I bought it because it's not that old. And this is all the new growth I've had since I bought it. Unfortunately, I bought it outside a couple of days ago. We had some strong wind. And as you can see here, it's blown all the new leaves off. Never mind. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how that one goes. I've got a few Jaboticabas actually. What we'll do is we'll come over to here. This is my avocado seedling. Again, there's nothing to report on this. So I've got some dragon fruit here. So I've got some dragon fruit cuttings, which is off the one around the fish pond. And these are 3 different varieties I've bought, which I've deliberately kept outside. I have another 2 inside to see what would happen, to be honest. And as you can see, this particular one is the Pink Panther. It's looking got a bit of rust on it. All in all though, doing pretty good. And then we've got the Pearl. And this one here, you can see has been suffered from the rust. I'm going to probably just cut this off and get rid of it. Cut that in half. And then we've got this one here, which was damaged in transit, which is the Dark Star. And that's where it was damaged in transit. But that looks like it's going to rot. So this whole piece might come off. And but if you look at the bottom part of all of them, they're looking pretty healthy. Right, and then we've got the Buddha belly bamboo. This is the giant one. This is the giant Buddha's belly. I did get some growth off this last season, just in there, but nothing really eventuated out of that. I might need to repot this. There's another one there, but they didn't really do anything, so hopefully this year they will. I might need to go in the ground, that one. If you don't know what the Buddha belly is, it's an ornamental bamboo, and the nodes are very, very close together, and then they swell out, hence why it's called the Buddha belly. Amazing looking bamboo. Gets to about 6 metres, 5 to 6 metres, I think. And the next one along here is the ice cream bean. Ice cream bean, there it is right there. Nitrogen fixing. You put this in the ground, and it'll put the nitrogen back in the ground, help any surrounding sort of trees. This has just been growing all year through the winter and everything. All this new growth here, doing really well. This may go in the ground again this season. Right, now I'll cross to the other Jaboticaba, the large leaf Jaboticaba. It's going to be quite similar to your standard Jaboticaba, except it's got bigger leaves. All Jaboticabas are highly ornamental as well. And this is the other Jaboticaba. This is the yellow variety Jaboticaba. Now, most Jaboticaba will grow their fruit on the trunks of the tree. This particular one doesn't quite do that. It sort of comes towards the end. But still, this is getting a lot of new growth. Again, only protection is under the pergola here. Alright, next one along. This is a cutting off my giant bamboo, which is the one growing down there. Hasn't done anything. Hasn't died though. We'll see what happens. Might need to go in the ground. All these little pots here are my yacons. So I harvested last year, excuse me, and then I separated the rhizomes, and you can see all the new growth is just starting to come up now. You can see some over here. That's a pretty good one. There's another little one there, another little one there. I'll probably put these in big bags this year. So I bought, what did I buy? I bought 4 yacons, from Dailies. There's your tag there, just in case you want to have a read of that. So there's your Yakons there. I bought 4 of them, and I've created, I don't know, 15. And you can just, the rhizomes will just keep on growing, and then you can just multiply them every year. This is the cherimoya. There's a cherimoya here, new growth there, new growth on the end of this branch. This is really hardy actually. This is a temperate actually. This is not a tropical, this is a temperate climate tree with a frost sensitivity of just medium. This is another one I might be putting into the ground this season. Again, we'll see how we go. And then I've got a hibiscus collection going here, which are all these different varieties along the edge here. Some which have just flowered all year round, as you can see. Just a little tiny flower, this one, but it's a beautiful colour. I think I've covered everything under the protection here of the pergola except for this mango, which, crazily enough, I pruned just a few days ago, and since I've done that, have a look at the growth coming out. I mean, I couldn't believe it, how quickly it's decided to spit out some, not all of them, but this mango's a few years old now, so let's pray to God we get some fruit off it this year. Even if it's one mango I can eat, I'll be so excited. But this one, again, only protection is the pergola. And this is another one I'm thinking of putting in the ground this season as well. Alright, now we'll just go over to the kiwi fruit. So here's the kiwi fruit. This one here is the female. This little tiny one here, which I was given, is a female, and the one at the end here is the male. You need a pollinator, so you need a male and female when it comes to kiwi fruit, and an extremely strong trellis, because kiwi fruit grows like a bunch of grapes, and the weight that you'll get is crazy. But what I've already noticed, the difference between this season and last season, is that last season was behind, I reckon, by about 2 months. It was just, the whole of September was wet and cold. It was just a continuation of winter. It was horrible. And I even noticed with tomatoes, they were just so far behind. Honestly, this did not start budding out until probably start of November, I reckon. But the good news is this is a bud that's broken out. Look, there's another one here just broken out. There's only a few, but that is a good sign that we could get a good crop. Even this little one has the buds have opened, see? Once you get these first leaves coming out, then it starts taking off. It grows really quick. Like one season, like I've pruned this right back, but say for example, the light's a bit, hang on, I'll just go over here because the light, this will fill this whole terrace in one season. It'll reach all the way through. I'll have to prune it to stop it from going over to the neighbours. Alright, and then we might go over to the, come on, out the way, not letting me in. I'll stand on you. I've got the cherry. And the cherry as well has just started breaking open as well, which is good news. Watch it. Plum. It's been flowering for a while now. You can see that's going to be a bumper crop. I can see all the bees. Some native bees up there as well. I can see hovering. They're the stingless bees. Blowflies, all doing the pollinating for me. That's good. That's several years old, this one. Last year the crop was amazing. But again, we lost most of our crop last year from brown rot, which I've treated. And here's the nectarine. Again, I heavily pruned this in the winter. I took off a lot of these big branches. I took it away from the fence a bit. The lily pillies at the back, at the neighbours there, I have to spray 2 or 3 times a year from aphids. Like, I mean, really, really bad aphids. So I just spray along there 3 times a year. And as you can see, the bees are really going to town on it, which is good. This has been treated for brown rotten leaf curl, and just looking at the leaves now, I may have stopped all of it actually, but I'll wait until these leaves get a bit bigger, and I'll be able to determine whether I've got all the the leaf curl off this for this season. And I noticed yesterday when I came in here, you're probably wondering what this is, but I saw a wound here, so I got my knife and I've just scraped that bark off, because there were little like worms boring into this trunk. So what I've done is shaved it out so I could get to the larvae. I don't know whether you can see the little holes here. There's a few up the top here as well, but just there, I think you'll be able to see those little holes there. And I sprayed a little bit of insect, what's it called? Pyrethrum or whatever it's called, just to kill the insects who are in it. Otherwise, that could possibly kill this whole branch. I inspected the rest of the tree and I couldn't find anything, but I'll keep an eye out. Alright, next is the orange tree. And this is taking off now. You can see all this new growth is doing really, really well. It's looking really lush, really dark green. But I'm getting a huge amount of growth, and even in there is a flower bud. Very, very small. Around the back here, yeah, look, there's a flower bud up the top here. I'm hoping we get a good crop. I haven't had a good crop off this yet. In fact, last year, 1 orange. And of course, my pride and joy, my Hass avocado. Bumper crop this year. In fact, everywhere you look, avocado, and lots of them. Lots of avocado. Averaging in all sorts of sizes. Little tiny ones like that one to your average sort of size. There's a couple of whoppers as well. I have counted 100, so it's going to be around the 100 mark. And then we now have the banana circle. These will come back as soon as the weather warms up. These will come back, and the compost bin which I broke, and I've repurposed it to feed the bananas. Essentially, all my green waste goes in here, and that'll help feed these bananas, because bananas are a hungry and a very thirsty plant. They need lots of organic matter, and that's why I've got all the mulch here as well. And then this is one of the newest apples I've got. Haven't had fruit off this one yet. This particular one is the Pink Lady, but all new growth coming off already, which is good. We might get an apple or two. And inside here is the Forte avocado. Alright. And this one's just starting to come into a little bit of flower buds, but nothing compared to any of the others. And the Hass avocado is actually starting to bud as well, which I didn't show you. If you look at it, the end of every branch, you're starting to get a heap of flower buds swelling out here. Again, nowhere near as much as the 2 small ones, but some of the branches tend to bud out a bit quicker than others, as you can see. but you'll see a huge transformation. Like all these buds here will get so big it'll look like the whole branch is just a bud of flowers. All right, then we got this is the other cherry tree. This one is the Stella. I can't remember what the other one is. And this one again has all started to bud out. As you can see, the pear tree, and the pear tree has started to bud out as well. All this new growth here. I don't think I'm going to get any. I don't think I'm going to get any fruit off it this year. And the other nectarine here, which is a white flesh nectarine, that one is a yellow orange flesh nectarine. This one hasn't done anything yet. I can't see any new growth. It's not dead because when I scratch it, let's see how nice and green that is. This is the other pear. So these two pears help cross-pollinate, and it's starting to bud out just there as well. The other apple. Again, I'll just get over this net. Again, this is already started to bud. We get apples off this now every year. Have been for about 3 years now. Only a small tree, but doing pretty good. And then we've got the other plum down here. Again, this one was in a different location, so I've cut this right back to transplant it to this area. It was over at the banana circle, and the avocado was, the branches were over the avocado, over the plum, so I had to move it. So I put it here. May not get fruit. I don't think we're going to get, the root system's not big enough, I don't think, to produce fruit. I think it'll all just fall off. And the fig tree as well was another one I've transplanted. Nothing happening here except a bit of swelling just here. Just here. Right, there we go. So there's a little bit of buds swelling just here, as you can see. That's about it though. That's another one I moved because I had it up near the house. They can be quite invasive, the root system, so I moved it down the bottom here. Sorry about that wind. It's been windy for days. I've also got the grapes here that are this particular grape is going to stay in this location, and it's going to climb over the chicken coop. This has got seeds in it. If the chickens want to eat those grapes, fine. These will be going to be moved. This is the flame seedless, and as you can see, already a bit of growth. And then we've got the crimson seedless, and there's not really any growth coming out of that one yet. And then I've got the potatoes over here, the potato boxes. They're going crazy. Hopefully we'll get a big crop out of them. These ones haven't come out yet. And then of course the garden bed here, which I've done a video on. I'll leave another link up here. This is preparing for, so this has actually been, I've been preparing this garden bed for I think over a year now. Honestly, I can't remember. It's been a while though. And underneath this is all this mulch. You can see all this is underneath, which is a really fine mulch, compacted down already from just weather. And then I've put arborist mulch quite thick over the top of it. It's about a metre from the ground level here, from the grass level to the top of that mulch is probably almost a metre, maybe even a metre. And that's in preparation to put, there's going to be 2 tropical trees growing in here. The reason it's high is the tropical trees will die if they get root rot. If you get too much water, especially in our winter, goodbye tropical trees. So you've got to raise everything up if you're getting this type of boggy water area here, which is why I've actually built a trench actually along here, and then it goes down there and then out there and down the pathway to try and get rid of some of this water. That's a giant bamboo. still growing. Unfortunately, attacked by cockies and they took the tops off, which would have been the biggest ones. And then these little ones here are all a late season one. They're still growing in the winter. They got big enough to be able to withstand the frost and whatnot. Hopefully, again, it was late in the season, so I've lost a lot of the new shoots because they just rot. They're not like this one here. I'll show you. You can see this particular one just here. Okay, that one didn't make it, and as you can see, just rotted. And anything that's sort of that size is just going to just rot. This is the this is the almond, a dwarf almond, flowering. I only put that in this season. This will be where the grapes will be planted. I'm going to put a trellis in here, and I'm going to put 2 grape varieties in on the one trellis. There's the other banana circle. Cross fingers I'll get some bananas on that this year. So we've got the Goldfinger variety, the Red Ducker, and the Ladyfinger variety, which is a dwarf variety. They're the same as the ones down at the avocado as well. Another plum. I'm going to get a bumper crop off this one. This one's already actually started to lose its flowers now. So we'll see some fruit on this one quite soon. That's the Tamarillo. I've got 2 Tamarillos. That's the red one there. And flowers already even in there. So hopefully we'll get some flowers off that this year. That's just an elephant ear, which is I've transplanted to about 5 different areas in the property. We'll see how it goes. This is the other Tamarillo. That's the other Tamarillo, a bit shorter, but it's got two branches. No flowers yet though. And then a ginger. I've got a ginger under here, and already I've got new growth coming up, as you can see. And then over here I've got a heap of potatoes in bags here. Some already, I planted quite early, like, when was it? Start of August. And that's some more there. And then I've got some spinach, which isn't doing too well. Some beetroot, getting a bit late in the season. I've got some iceberg lettuce here, which is almost ready to harvest. And then cauliflower broccoli, and then the asparagus, which is really taken off. Haven't got any on this side yet though, apart from a couple which is underneath the straw. But these ones here have taken off. Can't harvest, it's its first year. So they'll be staying in there for, well, they'll grow out into ferns. And then when they die off and go all brown, I cut them back. Next year I'll be able to harvest about 15% of them. Look at that, worm just fell out. Put him back in the garden. There we go. Alright, I think this has gone on for quite a while now. So what I might do is do this particular video, and then I think I'll do a second video of the front yard and see how we go there. So yeah, there's all my fruit trees and plants. Everything, just about everything I'm growing now is edible, except obviously the palm tree there and a few out the front. But that's my plan, is to have a garden where I'll be able to pretty much harvest fruit all year round. That's my plan anyway. Alright, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you in a garden tour number 2 in a couple of days maybe. Okay, thanks for watching everyone. Bye.